Question for you. Why are you still broke? No, seriously, why are you still broke? Let's talk about this. I'm Adrian from Adrian's Avenue, and I talk about things that are rich, relatable, and relevant that will help you make better decisions to a better life. Let's jump right into this one. So if I had a friend who just couldn't get it together as far as the finances, there's a couple of questions I would ask them. And the first one would be about budgeting. As bad as that word may sound to you, that is the key to why people are still broke. And if you don't have a budget, it just simply means you do not know where your money is going. You do not know probably how much you have coming in. You don't know how much you have going out. So when you hit that limit of overspending for the month, you don't know where it is. You don't know you can't put your finger on exactly where your money went. You're wondering, okay, I had this much come in. I had, let's say, $3,000 come in, but where did it all go? If you had a budget, you would know that a certain amount went to food, a certain amount went to gas, a certain amount went to health care, a certain amount went to clothing, a certain amount went to things that I just bought at the convenience store. But you would know exactly where your money was going. And this is not to say that because if you don't have a budget, your money is still leaving you. You just don't know where it's going. To put yourself back in control of where your money's going, even if you don't want to adjust how you're spending it all, at least you'll know at the end of the month, I spent $1,000 on going out to eat. I spent $200 on coffee. I spent $150 on gas. You would know exactly what categories you were spending money in. Once you know these categories, then you could adjust as you see need and you wouldn't overspend. Because what happens is when you overspend, you start borrowing money from your next month's paycheck or some future paycheck to pay for things that you bought right now in the present. And it doesn't work. It's not going to work well for you long buying things now and paying for them later, because you'll always be behind the 8 ball. So to your benefit, to get out of being broke all the time, get yourself on a budget. Budgets are easier than ever these days. There are automatic apps that you can put on your phone, connected to your bank, connected to your credit cards, and AI will tell you where you have your money being spent at, and they will give you your net worth. They're slick. I will cover that in a future video, but for now, make sure you get yourself on some kind of budget. I'll just give you a tip. The budget that I use is Mint. The app that I use on my phone is Mint. A great app. I connect it to everything. I'm very secure in it as far as connecting it to my bank accounts and connecting it to my credit cards. So I know at a moment's notice, I can look at it and tell how much my net worth is, how much I spent on any credit card that I have, the checks, whatever it is. I have it right here on my phone at a minute's notice, and I can keep up with things there. I look at it all the time. And so this helps me with my budget. I do have a handwritten or a spreadsheet for a budget also. But get on something simple, something that you can handle. It's not that hard, you all, and it will keep you help you get out of debt. It'll help you stop overspending, and it'll just help you all around. So get yourself on a budget. The next thing I would talk to my dear friend about, if they just couldn't get it together as far as being broke, is their income. Are you making enough money? What are you doing to better yourself? Are you learning any new skills? Are you searching out other jobs? Are you doing any side hustles? What are you doing to pay down your bills as far as get your income up so you can pay down some bills and catch up to things and not increasing your lifestyle just because you're making more money? But we would have a serious conversation with my dear friend about how much money you have coming in. What are your future plans for increasing that amount? We're in inflationary times right now. The money that you thought you had coming in is not as valuable now. It can't buy as much these days as it could buy yesterday or a couple of months ago. So we have to keep up with some things. Of course, if you're broke, you're probably not investing in anything. So even your future is being hurt by you being broke today. Income is vitally important, and it can work together with cutting back and getting more money into the household in your favor. There are things that you can do that will help you as far as getting more money into your households. There are skills that are needed today that you can learn that will help you in getting more money into your household. So check out your income, because that would be another reason why you're still so broke. The next question I would ask my dear friend about being so broke is, how much debt are you in? High debt levels can eat up your money like nobody's business. Just a few days ago, it was announced by CNN that people have hit a new high as far as credit card debt. 1.3 trillion. This is a record high, you all. 1.3 trillion in credit card debt. People are in debt to their wazoo. They're in, and they keep spending on more and more money, getting more deeper and deeper into debt, because they can't afford, in these inflationary times, probably basic things. Getting into more and more credit card debt is not a good thing to do. It's not good at all, because these credit card companies can change your interest rates just by giving you a notification. You don't have to be doing anything wrong. The interest rates can go up. And guess what? If you're not paying it off every month, you're paying that extra amount on your credit card every month that you make a payment. And if you're making minimum payments, you're not making any headway or very little headway toward bringing that amount down. Also, when you start spending like this, 1.3 trillion, at some point in time, there's going to be a cutoff point on your credit card. And once you hit that max, you can't use that credit card anymore, because that's it. If you have a $15,000 max, $20,000 max, 25, once you hit that, that's it. And you're in debt. They have you pretty much in prison to them, because any money that you have coming out, unless you're going to default on your credit cards, you need to hand it over to them to even pay your minimum amount to keep these credit cards functioning and not let it show up on your credit report. So getting in all this debt was never a good idea. Paying things off is a great idea. And you have to start at some point, try to pay things off. Pay the least amount credit card off that you have, and then start from there and just keep chomping at it, keep chomping at it. But you can't continue to spend and think you're going to get out of debt. It just does not work that way. So I would have a great conversation with my friend about how much debt are you in, and let's sit down and see how we're going to manage this debt for you to get out of debt by paying some of this stuff off, paying some of this stuff down, so you can have a little breathing room, you know, and with the extra income that you may be bringing into your household from a side hustle or some side job, you can work on paying the debt down, because it's just, from what I hear, it's going to get worse and worse and worse. And then in October, when it's time to start paying these school loans back, that's going to be another thing. If you run your credit cards up and then you have to start paying your school loan, that's another payment coming out of the funds that you have coming into your household. How can anybody survive with all this on them? It's almost like you want to give up, but don't give up. Don't give up. Hang in there. You made the debt. You made the college. You took out the loans for college and everything. And so rightfully so, you should pay them back. But hang in there, and you can work this out through a budget and through paying down your loans, getting extra income into your household. Don't give up. Don't give in. There is help on the way. Now, broke or not, hit that like button and that subscribe button so that you can stay up to date on the latest information as it becomes available to you. And we're helping you make better decisions for a better life. As the conversation continues with my dear friend that's broke, sometimes your friends that are broke, they've not heard of some of this information that I'm giving you on my channel. You can go back and go through all the videos. I talk about the finances. I talk about retirement, things that you need to know that you may not have heard of for your financial health and your financial wealth. So go back and take a look at some of my old videos. But the thing is, if you don't know about finances, if you've never heard about a 401k, if you've not heard about investing in stock or mutual funds or index funds, you need to learn about those things. If you've not heard how to get out of debt, how to put a budget together, that works for you, these are things that would be helpful for you. And these are things normally they do not teach you in school. They don't teach you in college, but they will give you credit cards in college and tell you to go for it. But one day someone's going to have to pay those credit cards back. So you need the financial knowledge to help get through these financial times of either inflation or recession, whatever's going on. You can make the best of the situation. You may not can change the inflation, you may not can change the recession, but you can handle your household during these times. And that's what financial education, financial literacy is all about. And once you know about them, you need to use them to your advantage. You just don't learn things, hear about things, and not execute. That's another thing that we do. We like to soak up all the information, look at all the videos, write down a lot of information, and then do nothing. That is not the way to combat this inflationary time. That's not the way to get out of debt. That's not the way to, that's a good way to continue being broke. But if you want to start gaining money and not have that broke status hanging over you, execute some of the things that we're talking about. So financial literacy is highly important, but once you learn these things, put them into action. Another reason you may be broke is because of unforeseen expenses. Sometimes life just happens. Something will go out in your home that you either need to get repaired or replaced. It may be an AC unit, maybe a refrigerator, maybe an oven. I've had all of these things affect my finances. Also, medical. Just because you have medical insurance doesn't mean that everything is paid 100%. If something were to happen, you may have a copay or some amount that you're going to have to pay up front before you can get the medical attention that you need. So these things will happen. This is life, and life happens, whether it's during inflation, whether it's during recession, whatever the time, and you cannot time these things. You don't know when it's going to occur. And so these can be draining, especially to your monthly budget. If you're on a budget, you don't budget for the unexpected. You shouldn't, because it's unexpected. But what you can do is have an emergency fund set aside a certain amount. It could be 3 months of expenses. It could be 6 months of expenses. And this should help you where you can sleep at night, won't have to worry that if something does happen, we have a little money socked aside to handle those things. So I won't go broke or get behind my monthly payments because something has happened that I did not expect to happen. Because life does happen. I realize that, you realize that it happens to all of us. But the emergency fund is something, or security fund, if that's what you want to call it, can kick in and provide you that sense of relaxation, that sense of still have this up under control, that it's not going to cut into my budget, it's not going to cut into my money too much. And then when you do get out of that, you can start building that emergency fund back up again. But you won't miss a beat if you have this emergency fund. Like I said, it could be 3 months, 6 months, 9 months. Some people even go up to a year for the emergency fund. But I do have a video on the amazing emergency fund, so you can go take a look at that. That will help you with getting that emergency fund. Now you may be asking, Adrian, do I do the emergency fund first, or do I start paying down on my debts first? What do I do? In order that you may have some sense of security, go ahead and set aside a small amount for an emergency fund. And I would suggest $1,500. So save $1,500. However, you can pinch it out of here, pinch it out of there, and put it in a fund set aside from your regular monthly checking account that you would pay your bills out of. Set it aside in a high interest savings account, online savings account, that it'll be set aside. So if you need it, you can pull from it, but it's not something that you would access just on a regular basis. But I would say start with $1,500 and then start paying down your bills. And as you pay down your bills, you can start increasing that amount to the 3, 6, 9 months or a year of emergency fund. But it's critical that you get this emergency fund as quickly as possible, because you don't want to have another setback because you're trying to pay down bills. Now something else happens and you don't have the money to cover it. So keep that in mind as you're funding your emergency fund. Now, the last thing that I would talk to my broke friend about is inflationary lifestyle. If your lifestyle goes up every time you get a raise, this could be problematic because you're not saving any, you're not putting anything away for the future. And no one is immune to it. It could happen to all of us because we think, oh, we got a raise, we deserve this, we deserve something better than what we're having right now. And so let's spend a little money with this raise. And I'm not saying go out and congratulate yourself, have a nice dinner or something like that when you get something, but keep it under control. Don't have it upgrade everything to take up all the money that you're getting in. Let's say if you get a $100 raise, why upgrade your cable, upgrade your car to suck up all of that money that you're getting extra in that you deserve, that you've earned? Why not put at least some of the money in a savings account? Why not put some of the money going toward retirement that will help you in the future? And I can guarantee you your future self will thank your today's self if you do that. So let's get out of the frame of mind that every time I get something that I need to upgrade somewhere. You know, some of us, when we're getting a refund, we plan 100% how it's all going to be spent, right? And nothing goes into a savings account. Nothing goes into paying down anything. Nothing goes into retirement, upgrading your retirement account. Nothing like that. You just have your eye on that new set of golf clubs, the new TV, the new tires for the car, whatever it is, something that, or rims for the car that you don't necessarily have to have, or that new purse that you've been having your eye on, those new 3-4 pair of shoes that you can buy because you're upgrading your lifestyle. It's lifestyle inflation. And this is something that we have to keep an eye on, keep tabs on, because that will suck from your money and keep you broke. You may look good, you may buy that fancy purse, but how much money is in that purse? How much money is in that bank account? Buy those red bottom shoes. Once you wear them, there's going to be scuffs on those red bottoms. And so keep this in mind. They're just shoes. It's just a vehicle, and nothing wrong with having nice things. That's not what I'm saying. But if you are eternally broke all the time, you need to check yourself and what you're spending your money on, and use these tips that we've talked about, because it's about making better decisions. These decisions are made one day at a time, one by one. But once you start making the better decisions, you start realizing a better life. And you won't have to wonder how I got there. You'll know exactly how you got there because you made better decisions. So to my dear broke friend, look at this video again and make better decisions to a better life.